everyone. Thanks for joining us for our webinar today on getting to know the companion case management module. So this one is going to be a little bit more of an overview of what the companion case management module is and what you can do with it. So if you're looking for something a little bit more functionality based, check out our other webinars and you'll be able to see some of the more specific processes where we get like in the weeds with an in-depth walkthrough of everything you would need to do to complete a process within the Doobert system. But this one's going to be just an overview and getting you familiar with everything that you can do within the companion case management module for your organization. So a little bit about me. I'm Lena. I've been with Doobert since last fall. So I'm really excited to share my knowledge with you guys and get you familiar with the CCM module. So just to point out a couple things before we get started, in our webinars, typically we will go through our slide deck first, just a couple quick notes, things you should know, and then we're going to jump into the system and walk through everything we just talked about here. And then at the end, we'll just have a brief Q&A. So if you're interested, stay tuned and we're going to check out our overview. So the companion case management module has a ton of features. So the reason I say this is because within the case, you have a lot of options in terms of what you want to specifically use them for. So I like to say that the companion case management module is great for managing any of your outreach programs. So your foster volunteers, your owner surrender, your crisis boarding, things like that. So the reason I say that is because we have case types and statuses that are interchangeable to fit your programs. And the great thing about the companion case management module is that we can communicate directly from the case. And this is really convenient when you are doing the follow-ups, the check-ins, things like that. You send them directly from the case. And another really, really great feature that our organizations absolutely love is that they can gather data on any of their requests through our forms. And what the forms do is once they're submitted by an applicant, anything like that, they will automatically open a case with the information that the person put in the form within the case. So it's really, really great for you to just automatically have that information in your CCM module and manage the case accordingly after that. So I'll show you guys an example form as well if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that. And another really, really great feature to the CCM module is the team collaboration aspect. So we have the ability to assign tasks or cases to our team members because I'm sure you have a team that you're working with within your organization and you have people who manage different programs. So this is really great for cases like that. And I'll show you guys how you can do that as well. So checking out a little bit of key information about our cases first. So like I said, cases are used to manage your organization's outreach programs, your foster volunteers, spay, neuter, crisis boarding, all things like that. And the great thing about the CCM module, like I said, is that we have interchangeable case types and statuses. So you can go in, customize your case types and statuses to whatever you would like them to be. And then when you're in the process of creating your case manually, you can go ahead and choose your case types and statuses out of the list that you've either edited or you're just working with the defaults that we give you. So we can also use case tags within our case to prioritize some of our key information. So these are little like color coding tags that I personally love because I'm a color coder, but they're really great for putting in some of your most key information for any of your cases. So I'll show you guys a couple examples of those as well. And then another great thing is that we can store our files within a case. So we have a tasks, files, and activity log within the case. So within the file section, we have the ability to attach any files and they will live within the case. So if you have any important medical information for your spay neuter cases or a application from a foster volunteer, we can store that directly in the case. So a lot of different options in terms of what you can do with that. You can even store your agreement forms, anything like that. So moving on to our communication and automation, these are one of our most popular features, I would say. So the great thing about the CCM module is that we can send email communications from the case, but we can also send text as well because organizations can choose their own phone number. So we give you 3 options for phone numbers and you choose whichever one is the best fit for you. And your organization will be able to start sending out texts from that phone number and getting your replies within the case. But other than that, you can also create your templates and macros if you have any commonly used messages that you send frequently. If it's like a check-in, a follow-up, or if you want to just put your email signature in a macro, that's another great option. Or if you want to send links, anything like that, you can customize your templates, macros, and once you're in the communication tab, you can go ahead and just click on your insert template, insert macro, anything like that. And you can also create custom workflows for your automated communications. So if you want to go through and create some templates, you can do that, and we will go ahead and help you get a form set up if that's something you're interested in doing. And that can also be included in your workflow, or it cannot, whatever you prefer. But if you want to send out an automated communication series, you can go ahead and create your templates with whatever you would like to have in them. And whether the person responds or not, then you can decide what the next steps will be. So that's really exciting. And checking out the animal profile section. So you have the ability to add an animal profile to a case, which is great because typically you can organize your cases per pet owner, applicant, anything like that. Whereas you can add an animal profile, so then you can easily identify the animal that the case is referring to. And that animal profile can live within the case. So you can store any key medical information for your spay-neuter cases, or likes, dislikes, preferences, anything about the animal for any of your foster volunteer cases to identify the pets that they're currently fostering, anything like that. Your crisis boarding, identifying the crisis boarding, the pet that will be in foster care during the time, all things like that. You have a ton of options for what you can do, but the main point is you can store your animal profiles within the case. So that is all I have for our slide deck. So now we're going to jump into the system and check out all these awesome features. All right, so now I'm in our organization's account. So this is your organization's dashboard. Here you have a couple getting started resources that you can check out for some quick videos. I personally love those if you're looking for anything short, 1 to 2 minutes on how to do a specific process within the CCM module or any of the other modules. So you can check out the companion case management folder right here if you're interested. So I just wanted to point that out really quick, but now we're going to jump into our companion case management module right here. So we're going to just start at the top, and I'll walk you guys through everything that's included in the CCM module. So first we're going to start with our dashboard right here. So the dashboard is really great for our EDs, program managers, anything like that who is really interested in getting a high level view of what's going on within your organization. So this is where you can easily visualize your animal types or any of your case types, your case statuses, things like that. So right here are case statuses. These just let you know the progress of the case, active, active foster, applicant, reviewed, anything like that. And then our case types up here are typically associated with our outreach programs. So we have spay neuter, foster volunteer, foster support, things like that. And then our animal types right here. See how many cats, dogs, kittens, and other that you have within your organization. That's really great. So if you have a team and you want to visualize how many cases that your team members are working on or what's assigned to them, you can view this right here and check out more details just for a little bit more of a detailed view. But this is where I also wanted to point out that we can go ahead and change any of our case types and statuses. So if we want to edit any of these, customize them, get rid of anything we're not using, we can go ahead and click Manage Defaults right here. And this is where we can go ahead and delete them or add a new one by just clicking the plus signs, anything like that. And then it'll also tell you who they were created by within your organization. And then to customize your case type quadrants, we can go ahead and edit any of these right here as well. So it's really great for your high level view, but if you're also looking to go ahead and change any of your customizable case type statuses, this is where you'll want to go. So once we've made all our changes here, we want to go ahead and click Save. But now we're going to jump into our next piece of the companion case management module. So we're going to head down to our cases tab right here. And this is where basically you will live if you are looking to use Doobert for your programs. So this is our cases page. Here we can visualize all the cases that we have within our organization. We have the red dots right here letting us know that we have an invalid email or phone number, just letting us know that we should go in and edit that for any communication to go through. We have our case name, date created, case type, status, and assigned to right here. And we have our blue dots. Those mean that we have an unread communication from the case contact. So If we want to go ahead and create a new case, we can go ahead and click on this plus sign right here and click add. And this is where we'll go ahead and manually create our case. Like I said, we have our case name, our statuses, our customizable status, customizable case type. We have our drop down here. If we added one, we can go ahead and add our new one if so. Any description, any details you want to add about the case. And then here we have our contact information. And then a couple things I want to point out about this is that our email, if you don't have an email address, it is a required field, but you can go ahead and do none@none.com. And for a zip code, if you don't have a zip code, you can also do 5 zeros. That works great as well. But I don't want to waste your time, so I'm not going to go through and fill all this out. I'm going to show you guys a pre-existing case so we can check out all the details. So I'm going to head back over into our cases page right here, and I am going to search for a case that's assigned to me. So if you start assigning cases to your team members, you can use this search filter, assign to, and then scroll down to whichever team member you're looking for. So I'm going to look for myself, and we're going to go ahead and search. So right here, we have a couple active cases that are assigned to me, but we're going to click on our rehoming case. So this is really great. We have our status awaiting a customer service rep from our organization to get back to them, and then our case type is rehoming. And these are the case tags that I was referring to. So this is where we can put our high-level, key, most important information. So we can start adding a new one, for example. We can put large dogs, key information, anything like that when they're being matched with foster. We can go ahead and just add them like that. And then if we wanted to change color, we can do that too if we're creating a new one. So we can always put a no cats, so that's a new one, and we can go ahead and put in a color right here to add our new tag. So that's just letting the organization know that this rehoming case, the pet involved does not get along with cats, just so they are aware, and it's right center in the case when they open it. And then right here, we have our case description. We have a couple questions and their answers to them. So that's an idea of something that you can do with the description section. And then we also have our contact info right here as well. We have our preferred contact method, the source, address, all things like that. That's really great. And then down here is where we would go ahead and add our animal profiles. So we have a couple options, whether we want to add an existing animal profile or we want to do a full add. But if we want to create a new animal profile, we'd click full add right here, or we can quick add, or we have the add for my organization if you already have the existing animal profile. So totally up to you. And then if we want to view the details on our animal profile right here, we're going to click on these 3 dots and click on edit profile. And here we can see all the information that is being stored within our animal profile. So we can scroll down and see that we can add a ton of details here. So that's really great. And then we also have the clinical information section, which is really great for our spay-neuter cases, owner surrender, rehoming, anything that is important about their medical history, we can store that right here. So I highly recommend checking this out and seeing what all of your possibilities are. But we have a ton of different options, medical comments, training history, the training that they know, whether they're house trained, allergies, everything like that. So if we make any changes, we want to click save here. So this is going to bring us back into our case once I click save. So just to give you guys a quick overview of that. And then here is our tasks, files, and activities log. So we can assign a task to a team member. So for example, I can assign one to myself. We can just do the @ and then search, and we can say follow up in 2 weeks. So that's really great. We can click on add, and then that has just assigned a task to that team member. So really easy to get your team involved and start assigning tasks. And then we have our file section. Like I mentioned, we can store any important information, files, agreement forms in here. We can just upload by clicking this plus, and then we also have our activity log. We can see all the changes that have been made in this case, and it also tells us which team member did them. So that's really great as well if you're interested in getting your team involved. We have our additional info section right here. We can add tags about our contact, internal notes. These work really similar to our tags right here. And then we also have our previous cases for contact. So these are going to be all of your other cases within your organization's account that have a matching email address. And then we can also relate a case. If we have a similar case that we want to add, we can just click add and search that. So super simple. We have a couple drop downs right here. Would the contact keep their pet if they were provided resources, or would they rehome on their own if they had resources? Yes or no. Or if it doesn't really apply to the case that you're working with, you can just leave them as no. But now we're going to jump into our communication tab. Okay, so clicking on the communication tab right here, we can either create a manual communication. So this is where we would just start filling in the blanks. So we have our email, text tabs right here, subject line for an email. We can go and type whatever we want, attach any files, and then click send. Or we can insert any templates or macros right here. So we can click insert macro. This is, for example, like your short messages, email signatures, links, resources, things like that. So I can just click on any of these. So we'll put Lena's contact. There we have my email signature. We can go ahead and insert a template as well. We can see all of our existing templates right here, pretty similar to the macros. We can put following up on your request, things like that. All that looks good. We can go ahead and click send. So as you can see, this makes communication a breeze. So that is how we would create our manual email text. If we tab over to text, we have our phone number right here. We can also insert our text templates, super similar to the email. Choose one here and go ahead and click send. And then down here is our conversation log. We can see the back and forth communication between this case contact. And then we have our files section. If they attach any files to their messages, they will be included here. So that's really exciting. But if we want to learn how we can create our templates and macros, let's check out our templates, macros, and workflows tab. So clicking on our companion case management side panel, we have our macros, templates, and workflows. So these are all really similar, these templates and macros, in terms of how they're created. We'll click on templates just as an example so you guys can see. This is where we can manage any of our existing templates, add a new one. We can click this plus sign right here, name it, and then we can put in any context that we're looking for, our email text templates, all things like that. So super easy. We can go ahead and delete, see what type they are, when they were updated, the name, all things like that. So if you want to check that out, I highly recommend the templates because they're one of my favorites for our quick and easy communications. So macros are super similar. It's a really similar page layout and how we create them, manage them, all things like that. So now we're going to jump into our workflows. So the workflows are really great because these are our automated communication series that are customizable. So with these, I do highly recommend creating your templates beforehand because we will need them to create our workflow. So if we're going to do a text or an email workflow, anything like that, just make sure you have your templates pre-created. Or if you're working with us on getting a form done, we will help you out in getting that workflow set up. But to create our first workflow, we are going to click on this plus sign right here. And we can name our workflow. We can do text, email, survey, web form, time delays, or actions. So I'm just going to click on a couple so you guys can see. So we can click on our text one. We can choose our text template, accepted foster volunteer. If we get no response from our text, we can go ahead and put a time delay. So we'll give them 2 days to reply. And then we can go ahead and send them another text, send them another email, anything like that, just to get in touch with them. Or we can add a action right here as well. We can change our case status to, for example, on hold, change our case type if we want to, and if we also want to assign it to any of our team members to manually follow up with them in a case like this, we can definitely do that. So we can choose a team member, so we'll just put myself right here for an example. But if they do respond to our foster volunteer text, we can go ahead and add an action, for example. We can leave our case type, but edit our case status to, for example, active foster. And if we want to assign, we can do that as well on the yes side. So basically how these work is whether it's based on whether a response is received or a response is not received. So typically in cases like this, you can really build out a comprehensive communication series if you have a couple different messages that you want to send to easily gather some more information. So I highly recommend checking out our workflows because I think you will really like them. But we also have, I want to point this out really quick, we have our manage default section right here. this is another way you can access the page where you can edit your case types and statuses rather than going through the dashboard, but I just wanted to point that out for you guys. And then we also have a reporting module for our companion case management. So if you're interested in getting any reports, you can always check that out as well. I highly recommend that. But that is all I have for our little demo. So now I'm going to show you guys an example of a form that we would build for your organization if you are interested. So this is our example form for a foster volunteer application. This is really just giving you an idea of what the form would look like. This can be shared on your website. We customize it to your organization's colors, branding, things like that. And you can share this on your website, on your socials, anything like that. And any community member that's looking for this type of assistance can go ahead and fill out this form. And rather than us creating a case manually, that case is going to be created automatically for your organization. So this is a really great way to streamline your processes. And then we can also automatically execute a workflow following the submission of this form. So if you're interested, reach out to us at help@Doobert.com and we'll be more than happy to give you a little bit more information on what we can do with the form. So now we're going to jump back into our slides and go through a quick little Q&A. Okay, so our first question is, what types of forms can I get? So super great question. You can choose from or basically stack them if you have all these programs and you're interested in managing them all in Doobert, but we offer forms for your foster volunteers, crisis boarding, owner surrender, and spay and neuter. So I highly recommend the forms. They're one of my most favorite features of Doobert. They make things so quick and easy, and it makes your data entry seamless. So if you're interested, like I said, reach out to us at help@Doobert.com, and either myself or any of my team members will help you get started building those forms. And our next question is, how do I transfer cases to another organization? So that would be part of our coalition functionality, which is really exciting, where you can partner with some organizations that you typically work with. And it's a really great way to send cases to them if it's something that your organization maybe isn't suited to take, or they don't have any available resources, things like that. So you can always reach out to us at help@Doobert.com to get your coalition set up. But once we want to go through the process of transferring our cases, if we jump into our companion case management module and we open up one of our cases again, we can click on this transfer case button right here. And this is where we can send it over to any of our coalition members. So that's really great. You can send the animal profile as well if you're interested and go through and choose any of your preferences right here. So that's a really exciting feature, and I highly recommend checking it out if you are looking to have a team. So that is all I have for today's webinar. I really want to thank you guys for joining us, and I hope to see you guys in our future webinars.